Welcome to this class on basics of multiple linear regression model. As already discussed in the previous module on simple linear regression model, you know that regression analysis is an empirical research method that offers a set of principles and procedures for investigating social phenomena, acquiring new knowledge, correcting and integrating previous knowledge, and putting the knowledge into decision making. In this session, we are going to see the features of regression model, the uses, the difference between SLRM and MLRM, and modern evaluation of a 3 variable case MLRM. Now, let us see the basics of multiple linear regression model. So, if you see, a multiple linear regression model is qualitative algebraic model. It is a mathematical expression of cause and effect relationships. So, it is used in diachronic and synchronic research design, qualitative and quantitative variables context as well, and it has confirmatory and exploratory purpose. So, if you look at this purpose, the estimated coefficient here is subjected to some inferential test. It is also used in descriptive and inferential framework, quasi and non-experimental research. So, overall the regression equations represent the nature, magnitude and causality of the relationship. It enables the economist to test theory, make prediction, forecasting and do policy analysis. Now, let us see what is the difference between MLRM and SLRM. MLRM contains more than one independent variables, while SLRM does not have like that. Regression coefficients here in MLRM are called partial regression coefficients. In SLRM, the f value is simply the square of t value of beta. So, it is t square, but in MLRM it is not so. Extraneous effects could be controlled using additional independent variables. So, this is according to Frisch-Vogel-Lowell theorem. So, this happens in MLRM, but this feature is not available in SLRM by its construct. So, this helps in doing research in non-experimental and quasi-experimental context. The fifth difference is the two special cases exist in which the simple regression of y on x1 will produce the same ORS estimate on x1 as the regression of y on x1 and x2. So, to be more precise, suppose y hat is equal to beta naught hat plus beta 1 hat x1, this is an SLR model, and y hat is equal to beta naught hat plus beta 1 hat x1 plus beta 2 hat x2, which is an MLR model. In this case, beta naught in both equations are not equal. Two distinct cases where beta naught hat and beta naught hat are identical. Case 1, partial effect of x2 on y is 0 in the sample, that is beta 2 hat is equal to 0. The second case is x1 and x2 are uncorrelated in the sample. Now, let us look at the typology of MLRM. So, first is the general form, which is written as y is equal to beta naught plus beta 1 x1 plus beta 2 x2 plus there may be lot of variables in between plus beta k x k plus u. So, if you look at the general form, y is the dependent variable while x1, x2 etc. x k are the independent variables, and beta naught, beta 1, beta 2 etc. beta k are the coefficients, and u, as you know, is the disturbance term. Now, let us look at the observational form. Here it is written as y I is equal to beta 1 plus beta 2 x 2 I plus etc. plus beta k x k I plus u I. Here we have an additional I, which shows there are ith observations, and let me tell you, this is a cross section data. For samples, MLRM is written as yi is equal to beta naught hat plus beta 1 hat x 1 I plus beta 2 hat x 2 I plus etc. plus beta k hat x k I plus E I. So, here E I is the residual term, and if you look at I, again we have ith observations, and hat symbolizes the estimated coefficients. In deterministic form, we have two forms, one is population regression function and sample regression function. So, PRF is written as yi is equal to beta naught plus beta 1 x 1 I plus etc. plus beta k x k I, and SRF is written as yi hat is equal to beta naught hat plus beta 1 hat x 1 I plus etc. plus beta k hat x k I. So, here we do not have the error terms. Now, let us take the case of multiple regression analysis for a 3 variable case. So, why we go with MLRM? Since SLRM is inadequate in practice, for example, suppose we have income which affects consumption, but consumption is affected by other variables also. So, if for example, we have other variables affecting consumption like wealth, rate of interest, fiscal policy, etc. Similarly, demand for a commodity is influenced by not only by price and income alone, but also by price of related goods, advertisement cost, social status, etc. So, therefore, the analysis has to be extended to more than 2 variables in both the cases. So, simplest MLR analysis includes 2 independent variables. This is the case of 3 variable regression model. So, look at this case. So, we have yi is equal to beta naught plus beta 1 x 1 I plus beta 2 x 2 I plus ui. So, here if you see y is the dependent variable, x 1 and x 2 are independent variables, ui is the disturbance term, beta naught is intercept term which measures the value of y when x 1 and x 2 are 0. Beta 1 and beta 2 are partial regression coefficients. So, if you see beta 1 shows the value of change in mean value of y when x 1 changes by 1 unit, keeping x 2 constant. Similarly, beta 2 shows the value of change in mean value of y when x 2 changes by 1 unit, keeping x 1 constant. Now, let us look at the OLS assumption on ui in yi for this model, MLRM model. I hope you already know OLS is ordinary least square assumption. So, yi is equal to beta naught plus beta 1 x 1 I plus beta 2 x 2 I plus ui is the model, and the OLS assumption for this is first assumption E of ui equal to 0. So, mean is 0. Then E of ui square is equal to sigma I square is a constant for the whole model, and this is also called a condition of homoscedasticity. The third assumption is E of ui uj equal to 0 for all I not equal to j, and this is an assumption of non-autocorrelation. Related to this, we have covariance of x1i given ui equal to 0 and covariance of x2i ui equal to 0. The fourth OLS assumption is there is no specification bias in the model, and the fifth one, no collinearity between x1i and x2i. So, this condition is a new assumption which is not in SLRM, and this assumption is called multi-collinearity. Now, let us see as to how to estimate the OLS estimator. So, the method is OLS estimation where we derive the OLS estimators. OLS is ordinary least square estimation. So, if you look at the two functions that we have taken here, it is population regression function and sample regression function. So, the population regression function is written as yi is equal to beta naught plus beta 1 x 1 I plus beta 2 x 2 I plus ui, and the sample regression function, also called estimated regression function, is written as yi is equal to beta naught hat plus beta 1 hat x 1 I plus beta 2 hat x 2 I plus ei, where ei is the residual error term. As we already saw in SLRM model, the relationship exists like this, that is yi is equal to yi hat plus ei, where yi hat is equal to beta naught hat plus beta 1 hat x 1 I plus beta 2 hat x 2 I. Keeping Ei on one side, the second relationship that exists is Ei is equal to yi minus yi hat, and which also implies squaring up on both sides, we get Ei square is equal to yi minus yi hat whole square. Since we are applying the method of least squares, we are supposed to square both sides as well as sum it up. So, summation of Ei square is equal to summation of yi minus beta naught hat minus beta 1 hat x1 I minus beta 2 hat x2 I whole square, where yi hat, as we already know, we substitute the relation here. So, to find the OLS estimators of beta naught, beta 1 and beta 2, the coefficients, we minimize sigma Ei square with respect to beta naught hat, beta 1 hat and beta 2 hat. The first order condition for this process is dou sigma Ei square by dou beta naught hat is equal to 0, dou sigma Ei square by dou beta 1 hat is equal to 0, and dou sigma Ei square by dou beta 2 hat is equal to 0. Now, let us see how to differentiate, partially differentiate the first dou sigma Ei square by dou beta naught hat. So, we have to go to the equation, and from this equation we derive this. So, the power is 2, so 2 comes to the front, and on differentiating we get sigma yi minus beta naught hat minus beta 1 hat x1 I minus beta 2 hat x2 I equal to 0. 2 goes to the right side, so 0 by 2 becomes 0, and the next relationship is putting sum for all the terms. So, when we sum up for all the terms, we get sigma yi, and sigma beta naught hat becomes n times beta naught hat. Here we have beta 1 hat, but since we have x1 I, the summation goes to the term x1 I. So, sigma x1 I minus beta 2 hat, again summation goes to x2 I. So, sigma x2 I is equal to 0. Keep n beta naught hat on one side and bring the other terms to the right hand side. So, when you go with it, you get a normal equation. This equation is called normal equation 1, and this equation, if you rewrite keeping beta naught on one hat on one side, you get sigma y by n minus beta 1 hat sigma x1 I by n minus beta 2 hat sigma x2 I by n. As you already know, sigma y by n is nothing but the mean value of y, so it is y bar. Sigma x1 I by n is nothing but mean value of x1, which is x1 bar, and sigma x2 I by n is the mean value of x2 bar. So, this is the relationship, and this is the estimated formula for beta naught hat. So, beta naught hat is equal to y bar minus beta 1 hat x1 bar minus beta 2 hat x2 bar. According to the method of least squares, the first order condition states that dou sigma Ei square with respect to dou beta 1 hat is equal to 0. So, when we differentiate dou sigma Ei square with respect to dou beta 1 hat, the power of 2 comes to the front, and you have this beta 1 hat related to x1 I. So, we have x1 I derived outside. So, in this derivation, 2 and minus together goes to the right hand side and it vanishes, while we have x1 I multiplied with each terms, and we get another equation which is the second normal equation. In this normal equation, if you see, instead of beta naught hat, which we have already found, we substitute the whole formula. So, y bar minus beta 1 hat x1 bar minus beta 2 hat x2 bar. On multiplying each terms, we get this equation, and when we take y bar sigma x1 I in this equation to the left hand side, it comes in minus. So, if you look at beta 1 hat, we have 2 beta 1 hats, please take a common, and in brackets the other terms come into the brackets. Similarly, beta 2 hat is taken common, and we have the other two terms within brackets. Using the results of deviation, that is this whole thing, the left hand side, can be written in deviation form like this. So, sigma x1 I minus x1 bar into yi minus y bar. So, here x1 I minus x1 bar is small x1, yi minus y bar is small y. Similarly, if we look at sigma x1 I square minus x1 bar sigma x1 I, This again in deviation form can be written as sigma x1I small x1I square. So, this whole normal equation that we have found can be written in deviation form as sigma x1y. So, this becomes sigma x1y beta 1 hat, and this whole term becomes sigma small x1I square, and again if we apply the same method here, we get sigma small x1I x2I. So, this whole equation becomes like this. Similarly, we minimize sigma ei square with respect to beta 2 hat and derive it. So, on derivation the same result, same alike result arrives. So, we have sigma x2I yi is equal to beta naught hat sigma x2I plus beta 1 hat sigma x1I x2I plus beta 2 hat sigma x2I I square, and this is our third normal equation. Applying the same rule that we talked about previously, in deviation form it is written as sigma small x2I y small y is equal to beta 1 hat sigma small x 1I small x 2I plus beta 2 hat sigma small x 2I square. So, this is our second equation. So, this is the first and the second equation. On transforming this equation, that is keeping beta 1 hat on one side in the first equation and beta 2 hat on one side in the second equation, we apply the rules and we find the formula for beta 1 hat and beta 2 hat. So, look at the formula which will be applied for all MLRM model. Beta 1 hat is equal to sigma small x1I small y sigma x2 square minus sigma x1I x2I sigma x2I y divided by sigma x1I square sigma x2I square minus sigma x1 x2 whole square. Even if you write with I or without I, it does not matter. So, beta 2 hat again you can write sigma x2I y sigma x1I square minus sigma x1 x2 sigma x1I y sigma x1I square, same denominator applies here. So, this is the formula. So, let us see as to how the whole overall estimates of MLRM are given in formula. So, the first formula if you see which we have already derived, beta naught hat equal to y bar minus beta 1 hat x1 bar minus beta 2 hat x2 bar. The coefficient or the estimator beta 1 hat is given as sigma small x 1I small y sigma small x 2I square minus sigma small x 1I x small x 2I sigma small x 1I into y, the whole divided by sigma small x 1I square sigma small x 2I square minus sigma small x 1I x 2I multiplied whole square. Beta 2 hat similarly, which has the same denominator as specified in beta 1 hat, we have only the numerators changed. So, sigma small x 2I small y multiplied and summed sigma x small x 1I square minus sigma small x 1I x 2I and sigma multiplied with x 2I into y. So, this is the formula for beta 2 hat. Using the above two formulas, we derive R square formula. So, R square is equal to beta 1 hat sigma x 1I y small y plus beta 2 hat sigma small x 2I into y, the whole divided by sigma small y square. So, this is our R square formula. The next is the variance sigma hat square. So, here we have the residual error square. So, sigma ei square divided by n minus k. So, this n is the number of data given while k is the number of variables. So, in this case there are 3 variables. Sigma small ei square formula is 1 minus r square into sigma small y square. So, we apply this whole thing here and find the variance. The variance of beta 1 hat is equal to sigma hat square. So, the variance of residuals into sigma x 2I square, the whole divided by sigma small x 1I square sigma small x 2I square minus sigma small x 1I x 2I multiplied whole square. Similarly, variance of beta 2 hat has the same kind of formula where the denominator is the same only numerator changes. So, we have sigma hat square into sigma small x1 I square. The variance of beta naught hat has a huge change. So, here the formula is stated as sigma hat square, the whole bracket 1 by n, the number of data, plus x1 bar square, mean value of x1, sigma small x2 I square plus x2 bar square, sigma x1 I square, small x1 I square, minus 2 x1 bar, x2 bar multiplied with sigma small x1 I, small x 2 I multiplied, and the denominator as usual we have same denominator here also. Standard error is very easy to compute, it is nothing but the root of the variances. So, standard error of beta naught hat is equal to root of variance beta naught hat, standard error of beta 1 hat is equal to root of variance of beta 1 hat, and standard error of beta 2 hat is equal to root of variance of beta 2 hat. So, this is how the major estimates are, formulas are given here for an MLRM model. We are now going to see as to how to evaluate an MLRM model. So, it comes under various criteria. So, now let us see the first criteria, model evaluation criteria 1, where we look at R square and R bar square and give the conclusion. So, if you see R bar square is often used to compare the goodness of fit of one equation with that of another equation fitted to the same data. So, if suppose equation A has higher R square than equation B, then equation A is better, but the value of R square can be improved simply by including more variables in the model. So, if the better equation A contains more independent variables than equation B, simply comparing them on the basis of R square will be very much misleading. So, R square need to be corrected for the number of degrees of freedom of the regression. So, here if you see the resulting quantity denoted by R bar square, it is given by R bar square is equal to 1 minus sigma E square divided by n minus k divided by sigma y square divided by n minus 1, where k is the number of parameters in the model including the intercept term. R bar square is called adjusted coefficient of determination or represented as ADJ R square. So, R bar square and R square are related by the equation, this equation, that is R bar square is equal to 1 minus R square into n minus 1 by n minus k. So, in this relationship if you see, if k is greater than 1, it implies R bar square is less than R square. So, if R bar square is turned out to be negative, its value is normally taken as 0. So, this is our model evaluation criteria 1. The model evaluation of MLRM is also done with the help of second criteria, that is criteria 2, ANOVA, which is also called F test. ANOVA is analysis of variance, where it is involves the testing the overall significance of observed 3 variable regression model. So, if you look at the 3 variable regression model, it implies multiple linear regression model. The first step is to test simultaneously the null hypothesis H naught denoting beta 1 equal to 0 and beta 2 again equal to 0 against alternative hypothesis H1 implying or stated at least one of the following is true, in that is beta 1 not equal to 0 and beta 2 not equal to 0. The second step is to test whether R square is significant or not significant. So, the null hypothesis H naught framed is R square is equal to 0 against the alternative hypothesis H1 R square not equal to 0. So, H naught R square equal to 0 against H1 R square not equal to 0. So, how to proceed? So, actually the ANOVA states that, so this is the statement, but before going to this statement let us come to this table. So, this table helps us to calculate the F statistics. This column is showing you the sources of variation and there are two sources. One is due to regression, which is called explained sum of squares, ESS, and the next source of variation is due to residual, which is residual sum of squares, denoted as RSS. The last row is the total sum of squares that we calculate. So, let us come to the first column here, sum of squares. So, sum of squares is sigma yi hat square, and the formula as we know beta 1 hat sigma x1 I small yi plus beta 2 hat sigma small x2 I yi. So, this is the sum of squares for regression, due to regression, so ESS. The next is the sum of squares for residuals, sigma small ei square, and the total of all these two is sigma small yi square. So, this is our first denotion, so which is stated here, sigma small yi square is equal to sigma small yi hat square, which is this whole formula, plus the next sum of squares of residuals sigma ei square. So, this is your total sum of squares, explained sum of squares and residual sum of squares. The next column denotes the degrees of freedom. So, here the number of independent variable, that is k minus 1, the variable number of variable here is 3. So, 3 minus 1 gives us 2. Similarly, for residuals the degrees of freedom is n minus 3. When we sum it up, we get n minus 1 as the answer. The next column is the mean sum of squares calculated as dividing value sum of squares divided by degrees of freedom, and again for residuals we divide sigma ei square divided by n minus 3, which is nothing but the variance of the disturbance term, that is sigma u hat square. The last column is nothing but the division of these two. So, here if you see the degrees of freedom for f is 2 comma n minus 3. Now, the table value is calculated using this degrees of freedom, that is f at 2 comma n minus 3 degrees of freedom at 5% level, and if the calculated f value is found to be greater than the table f value, then h naught is rejected and vice versa. So, the h naught as you already know, so this is rejected and the significance is explained. The MLRM model is also evaluated using a third criteria, criteria 3, which is the t-test. So, the model evaluation criteria 3, which is considered for an MLRM model, is t-test. So, if u, the disturbance term, is normally distributed with 0 mean and variance sigma u square, then we can use t-test to test the null hypothesis h naught against the alternative hypothesis h1, where h naught, the null hypothesis, is beta I equal to 0, that is all the coefficients are 0, against the alternative hypothesis h1 denoting beta I not equal to 0. The test statistics for t is equal to beta I hat minus beta I by standard error of beta I hat. Here under this beta I is equal to 0 if we take the calculated value, and the table value of t at n minus 3 degrees of freedom at 5% level of significance is taken up for analysis. So, if we compare both the t values, if calculated t is greater than table t, we reject the null hypothesis h naught at 5% level, otherwise we accept h naught. So, if we reject h naught, it means beta I is not 0. Next is the confidence interval calculation, which we already do to find out the confidence interval of any MLRM model. So, 100% confidence interval for beta I is given by beta I plus or minus t, the calculated t alpha by 2 at n minus 3 degrees of freedom into standard error of beta I hat. So, here I implies the value 1, 2, 3 etc. In this session, we saw the basics of MLRM, its features, uses and difference between SLRM and MLRM. We also discussed the OLS assumptions, derivation of estimates and the model evaluation techniques to be used for a 3 variable case MLRM. Hope you now understood the nuances of MLRM. Thanks for watching.